All right, 8 o'clock live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here. He's got news. Vinnie Mac's got news as well. The three boys hanging out tonight. No Slick Rick. Slick will be back tomorrow. He is...
He's on the purple train.
I just can't even get into the video that we all received today.
Yeah.
Dude, it was great.
It looked good.
He's on his purple pilgrimage tour.
Slick is letting it loose out there in Minneapolis. Cutting a rug and...
Just say it. He was featured. He was the opening shot feature of a promo for the Prince Purple Pilgrimage that he's on.
Yes, he was.
It's amazing.
Looked like a combination of tripping and circling all at the same time. Wild hands. I don't know what it was.
He had the white man's overbite going.
Yeah.
He was doing it.
And a little spirit fingers. For good measure.
Yeah. So
awesome. We should show it.
Glad you're in. Lots to do on another busy night. Last night, man, I got so many emails and comments last night about the show.
Oh, yeah?
You know, sometimes it's the unplanned shows that people seem to resonate with the best, I guess. And, of course, everybody loves the great Ben Bergquam.
Oh, he's awesome.
So we figured, well...
he's a hack.
Sorry, Ben.
That's not nice.
Yeah, the riots are tough, but Rick's tougher.
Let's bring our...
Oh, he's there. Oh, hey,
Mr.
we love
Bergquam
Ben
back
Bergquam.
Here for night two, because there he is live in Los Angeles. That was Delgado. You know.
It's Pizza Ben.
First of all, how are you doing? I know you've had a long day. You look safe. You look good. So I'm happy to see that. But set the scene. We talked seriously last night about it. Felt like things had ramped up, that stuff was going to happen. We saw a little action last night. What's the day been like, and what set the scene right now?
Well, 180 changed today. The force presence of the law enforcement has just been incredible. They started making arrests at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you turn the camera real quick, the ICE office is down the street there. You look behind me over here, we've got a massive presence of law enforcement. They're actually going to let us walk through here and show you what happened. So a lot of the protesters went and blocked the freeway. Let's get a shot of the freeway. They were blocking the 101. They came down the 101, came across onto this street. We were actually came down here to intersect them. When that happened, the police came from both sides, and you can see again the law enforcement presence. We barely got out without getting arrested. You just tell us where to go, sir.
Are you with
yes, he's with us, sir. Yep. So we barely got out. That entire group of people that was blocking the freeway basically got pincered in. Is this it right here, sir? Right here, okay. And if you see over these officers here, if you go up with the camera and angle it down, probably need to angle it down there. I don't know if you guys can see that. A group of, 40 or 50 people that are getting arrested right now. This is the
that's glorious.
third group mass arrest. Yep, so at least 100 that I've witnessed being arrested today already. The number is going to be huge by the end of the day. They are not messing around today. Clear? All right, we're going to head back out, guys. They just gave us some special access to come back in real quick. Go ahead.
And we obviously appreciate that, and obviously praying for all those guys.
On behalf of Studio 6B and Real America's Voice, we want to say thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you for your service. We really appreciate you.
And Ben, so just to that final point of your sentence there, you said they're not messing around. We talked about last night. I mean, obviously they're never messing around, but when you say that, what specifically, I mean, today is it more of they're just fed up with what's going on, or what's the not messing around today, and what's different today than yesterday?
Well, they're making arrests. I mean, yesterday I saw one arrest. Today I've seen at least 100. So that's the difference. Is yesterday they were basically pushing them away from the federal buildings and then letting them do whatever they wanted outside of that. That's where you had all the looting that we saw last night. I saw multiple stores looted, everything torn out of them. That was basically the operation yesterday. Today, as soon as they called it an unlawful assembly, they cornered everybody in, and if you weren't pressed, you were getting arrested. They gave, multiple warnings. It's time to leave. We gave you warnings. We gave you warnings, and if you didn't leave and you weren't pressed, you got arrested. So the tactics have definitely changed. You can feel a very increased, heightened sense of security in the city, and I just think that they don't want to have happen what happened Sunday and yesterday, and it's clearly a result of President Trump putting pressure on Gavin Newsom. But this is definitely coming from Gavin Newsom, too. This is all CHP that's been brought down here to do this. So the pressure has been put on. And if you're committing crimes in Los Angeles today, you're getting arrested.
Okay, that was actually one of my questions. The increase in law enforcement, because we talked last night about obviously the President Trump and sending in the Marines, but we also talked that he activated another 2,000 California National Guard into federal service. So, but it's local. Is it local law enforcement that you're seeing a more beefed up presence of today?
Yeah, you're seeing all of it. So you've got the National Guard down at the ICE headquarters and some of the federal buildings. Apparently, the Marines are in stage somewhere. We haven't actually seen them. My guess is they would only bring them in if the law enforcement couldn't do what they're doing today. And I have a feeling that's why the heightened response from today, because they're staged here in L.A. just waiting for the word to go in and handle business. And so, instead of that happening, we've got this is the largest CHP presence I've ever seen. If you want to lift up the camera, we're going to try to get that camera lifted up again so you guys can see just how many we're talking about. So it's a combination of local, state, and federal all converging on this place. Now, just something to consider. I've seen a lot of videos also recently about people in California saying, well, now you've got all this law enforcement that's been taken away from their communities. Now you've got crimes being committed all over the state. So there's still a mess in California, but at least for LA, they're putting a stop to what we've seen over the last several days today. Now what's happening across the rest of the state? Santa Ana, we know, is in trouble. A lot of other places are as well.
Right. Hey Ben, this is Rick. Let me ask you a quick question here, because from what I understand, the crowd moved on to the 101, and for people that aren't familiar with LA, I lived there for about 2 years in that area. The 101 is a main artery through the entire area, from the valley in through the city. In what part of 101 did they kind of cross into? Because let's face it, it crosses the 5. It'll affect the 134, 405. Yeah. Everything will just grind to a halt, right?
Yeah, exactly. It disrupts everything. And for about an hour, 101 was completely shut down. It was right between the 10 and the 110. We're right downtown. So basically, that federal building, that ICE building, it butts up against the 101. And so they shut that entire corridor down, which again, like you said, affects the 110, the 10, and basically every freeway around here, because they all are arteries into each other. And this is one of those things, too. I was interviewing this morning. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see any of this stuff. I was interviewing people on the streets. Even local Democrats are fed up with this stuff. All the spray paint, all the graffiti. And I guarantee you, you're not getting any favors. You're not turning anyone to your side that's trying to get home from a long day of work because you're dumb, finish the line, is sitting out there on the freeway blocking traffic. You are turning people off. Even people that may have been on your side before are fed up with all of it.
Yeah, and you know what I've seen a lot of today, Ben, as well? And maybe you can speak to this if you've seen or talked to any of them yourself. The local business owners. So we've seen local businesses looted, destroyed. I saw one video of this family kind of basically in tears. Their jewelry shop was destroyed after years of hard work. Have you seen and talked to any of those people?
Yep. Yeah, there was a legal immigrant we were walking by yesterday, and she had the chain pulled down on her business. She's a small business owner here in L.A. She didn't want to be on camera. She didn't want to be a target, but that's what she said. She said, I came here legally. I did all the right things. I run my business, and now my business is shut down because these people are terrorizing. And she was afraid. You could tell she had fear in her eyes. She was afraid of where we were standing. This was actually right after our live last night. She was afraid of where we were standing because what we were covering and the potential violence there. So this is unfortunately the case for people that live in San Francisco, LA, any of these Democrat-run cities. You basically live with Stockholm Syndrome. When am I going to be attacked next? When is my business going to be attacked next? Sometimes that's from the government, from overregulation. Sometimes that's from people in your own community that are coming to burn it down. It's a hell of a place to live when you live in Democrat, lawless, where they want you to follow the law, but not the criminals and not the illegals and not everyone else who's trying to do you harm. It's just a shame in a state that used to be great.
Ben, Vinnie Mac's got a question for you here, too, as well. But just to follow up on what you said, and then I'll turn it over to Vin. Even John Fetterman came out today and said, I unapologetically stand for free speech and peaceful demonstration. But, this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. And the Democrat Party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. So, you're starting to lose a choice few. I heard Dan Turrentine from the Democrat Party, who's on Mark Halperin's two-way show, say, this is just ridiculous. The party, how do you argue this? It just is absurd. So you're getting a choice few in the party as well that are starting to lose and say, guys, there's no way to justify what we're seeing. It's absolute anarchy and chaos. So, Vin, what's your question for Ben?
Hey, Ben, how are you, man? You're doing a great job, by the way. I caught your coverage last night and this morning. My big question is, what was the inflection point? I remember when these started a couple of nights ago, the LAPD or the police were told to stand down. Then Trump gets involved and sends in the National Guard. And now all of a sudden, look at what you've got behind you. They're making arrests and doing all this stuff. But what do you think was the inflection point? Was it Trump? Was it Newsom having the pressure? Or did the police just say, I've had enough, we have to make arrests here?
No, it's definitely the pressure from Trump to the state. There's no question about it. Again, you don't get CHP acting without the governor making that decision, and he would not have made that decision if it wasn't for the pressure from President Trump. It was from Trump down to Gavin, down to Newsom, down to and then again to the cities, the local PDs realizing we're looking like idiots if we allow this to continue. To me, that inflection point really started last night. We started to feel a little bit of it. The tactics changed a little bit yesterday from what we saw over the weekend, which was basically let them do whatever they want. We saw a little of that yesterday, but it really felt like when they realized the Marines were actually coming, it was like, oh, well, we've really got to do something now. And today, it's a night and day difference. I mean, this doesn't even feel like LA, honestly. It feels like a city that actually has law and order.
Yeah. All right, Ben, I know you've had a long day. Obviously, if you're going to stay out there and anything happens, we're here. We'd love to come back to you and take you, but I know you've had a long day, and I appreciate the time. Stay safe out there. It does look a lot calmer than last night, which is good. Let's hope that continues through the night. The great Ben Bergquam here at Real America's Voice. Thanks, bud. Stay safe.
Be well,
hey,
Ben.
My pleasure, guys. God bless you guys. Have a great night.
All right, the great Ben Bergquam. Let's take the first break, then we'll come back and talk. Get started here on a Tuesday night live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this. Oh, I told you. There was a couple of videos. Yeah. They were like, guys, you have no idea what's coming if they get involved.
All they're subjected to is heat, sand, and violence.
Yeah.
Chat. What's going on in the chat on a Tuesday night?
A lot of people from California talking about other riots popping up, which is... I think this is part of the strategy, just have them pop up wherever they possibly can.
Well, they're planning a whole day, right? Next on
Saturday,
14th,
this Saturday.
Yeah.
Howdy, rumblers.
Okay. Does it need any kind of setup, lead in? What is I haven't seen it, so. Okay.
Howdy, Twix.
What's happening, my Facebook friends?
People on the Twix.
Elaine Emmerich.
Everybody loves this color.
Okay.
Yeah,
people like this color, this minty green.
It's an amazing color.
Thanks
Maybe Slick should be wearing that color.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Slick is purple.
Slick is purple. Yeah, purple rain.
We have to. You know what? I'm sharing that right now on X. Screw it. If you want to see Slick
It looks
Rick
like a move from Zoolander.
featured, yes, it's definitely a Zoolander
Looked like
move.
he tripped out on heroin or something.
I'm posting it right now. He is a star.
Where are you posting?
Aaron, what would you call that
on
move?
X.
Aaron's so nice, so sweet.
Well, he made the cut. He made it on like the main Instagram page for Prince.
Of course
He didn't
did.
just make it on. He's the opening
he did.
shot.
He's
Where's
the opening
Paul?
shot.
Well, Paul's not on Tuesday nights, but Paul will be. No, he's not going to be back tomorrow. He's taking the night off. He'll be back Friday.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've just posted it on X. If you're following me on X, you'll see it on there. You can see Slick do his spin right at the top, right at the beginning.
I wish we had the clip.
He is the highlight of this thing. We should.
Even
how can we
Prince
do
is
that?
laughing.
I just posted it on X. Just go to my page. Damn it. Don't keep it from the people. The people want to see him.
Let the people see Slick.
People
in
need
his,
to see him.
Well, maybe
his
we
home
should do it
environment.
during the break.
No, why? Oh.
I'll sing it. Where's KDJ? KDJ is also not on Tuesdays. He'll be
Yes.
here Friday. Actually, all right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. The great Ben Bergquam joined us in the first segment to set the scene out in L.A. Ben was with us most of the show last night, and I know Ben's had a long day, so I'm not going to make him do that again. Plus, I mean, boy, the difference between the two nights is very obvious. And Vin wasn't even on the show last night, but he watched the show from home, which I don't know what that says about your life. But
Yeah, really.
But even you could tell the difference just in the coverage, right? Of
I mean, even when
I was watching Fletch for the 30th time, and then I figured I'd switch over and catch 6B a couple of times. No, I was watching you guys. I wanted to see the coverage.
Thank you.
Of the riots and all that kind of stuff. I got a lot of friends out there, and they were telling me one thing.
They don't.
And then I see Ben telling me the truth. So
No,
I was
what
pretty
were
happy
they
about
telling you? I wonder. It was all just mostly peaceful.
Oh, I don't understand what's happening. What the media is saying, it's all peaceful. And I'm like, peaceful? Did you see what happened to the Nike store? You see what happened to CVS?
They heard of this thing called video.
By the way, I've gone in that CVS. Okay, it's in downtown LA, that CVS. I went in there to buy like a razor or something. I forgot to bring on a business trip. It was not only empty, everything was behind a lock and key.
Right.
You couldn't get anything. This is, no riots, no nothing. This is what's happened to LA. Every store you go in, and they had no inventory, and they were like, well, why would we keep anything? They just steal it.
They just
Yeah,
steal it
right.
all. Yeah.
They're just going to come in and steal it. They don't get arrested. It's
I love the part of your story, Vin, when you said you have friends out there. those people hate you.
yeah.
Oh boy, they do.
Yeah.
They do. It is amazing to me. But I have to say, the good part about my friends in LA is they're coming out of the woodwork now. One, they're really still upset about the fires and the mishandling, so they've turned on the mayor and others.
Yeah.
And two, they are seeing this for what it is for the most part.
Okay.
Like this is ridiculous.
And
Arrest people.
And what they see it for is what? Their own stupidity of voting for this crap, hopefully?
Well, that's been my response to them. Like, you keep voting these people in. What are you doing? I mean, this is what you're getting, what you voted for.
Right.
So change your vote.
It's the definition of insanity.
It's apathy. No one even votes. It's like New York City. You know who votes in New York City? It's the same people over and over and over. In Queens, the Bronx. How does AOC get elected? And she gets like 1,200 votes and gets a seat in the House. I mean, something ridiculous like that. Right. How does that happen? Nobody votes. That's
By the way,
problem.
this is what I would think your friends in LA talk like. I didn't play this last night because we obviously had Ben, but this is what I would figure most liberals and most of Vin's California friends would think if they even turn the TV on. This has got to be the take of the year right here.
Large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators. turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into.
Oh, of course.
That's what it is.
Again,
of course, that's what it is.
Again, this is the liberal left, right? They totally glaze over the first part of the story that led up to the cars burning, because the cars don't just spontaneously combust like that in L.A. just because, oh my goodness, we hear ICE is in town, cars start blowing up and turning into fire hazards. No, people are doing that. And they're not peaceful. They're not just protesting. They're rioters and destroyers of private property.
And they have a history of having the police stand down.
Yeah.
I was out there for the Rodney King riots. It was scary. And they allowed these riots to expand and do all this stuff. I was out there for the OJ verdict. The same thing. People went nuts.
Right.
And they allowed it, though. They had the police stand down. LAPD, these dudes are tough. I mean, this is a very tough police force, and they have them stand down. It's all about the politicians. Right. I'm glad to see Newsom doing something, but you have to have learned from the Summer of Love.
Doing something. What's he doing other than suing the president and coming up with excuses on, well, I mean, what's he doing?
Well, he said, didn't Ben say that the only reason the CHP's there is because Newsom made the call? I mean, at least he made the call with pressure from the president and all that kind of stuff, which we know happened. But
you know why he made the call, and it's not because he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
He was forced to. His hand was forced. He already looks like a complete tool bag. So he's like, I got to do something. Plus, he probably had the police unions all over him saying, look, our guys are getting hurt. Things are going bad. If you want this to really get out of hand, keep this up. But we have to do something.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the other thing I've noticed, I'm not sure if you guys are picking up on this as well, Trump, it's a great move by Trump, by the way. Trump's being very aggressive here. He's being very aggressive because he knows how they're going to use this against him. Mm-hmm. And by him playing his hand very hard, which is, the Marines coming in at the end, after everyone else he's put in there. I think it's a great move on his part. A lot of people are criticizing him, especially on the left, for overreacting, and you don't need the Marines, you don't do this. Well, you need to set the standard. If this happens in New York, you bring in the National Guard, you bring in the Marines. If this happens in any city, we're bringing it in. He is setting the table to manage this craziness after that Summer of Love, where it went crazy city after city. And you remember all those Black Lives Matter protests? We had them right by our house. They were protesting in little towns like Huntington, New York, and Manhasset, New York, and small suburban towns. People were scared, literally scared. The police were like, you know what, turn your sprinklers on and try and keep people away because they're coming down, because they wouldn't touch them. Trump now has set the standard. Thank you.
What you're looking at is B-roll from our friend Ford Fisher, who's on the ground for Real America's Voice. And to the point we made when Ben was on, here you have local business owners saying, well, what am I going to do here? Yeah. I can't lose my whole business. So this is what they're forced to do. So you're not winning any favors.
No.
With a lot of these business owners, could be voters of the Democratic Party, could maybe not. Mostly, I would think most of them are. But you're not winning these people over.
No.
These people have had it. They don't want to be doing this. They don't want to be dealing with this. They don't want to be having to redo their whole lives, lose their whole store, lose their livelihood, be worried about losing their livelihood or losing their stores if they haven't already, or dealing with this nonsense and graffiti and crime and all of this. And but this is what's going on now.
Yeah. Complete nonsense. Here's one of those local LA store owners, Cut 17, as he talks about what he's seeing and what's really going on. It's a quick clip. And, it's not somebody who looks like a highfalutin caviar eater as well. Cut 17.
This is so ridiculous. This doesn't look like this is they're protesting for ICE or anything. This is they're doing just for the looting the stores and everything. Yeah. I saw they break into the Apple store, they break into the Adidas store. This is not they're doing protest.
Yeah.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, just let's go nuts and let's loot. It seems to be a plan that so many of these people have.
I mean, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I mean, I turned on ABC this morning and I heard this.
The same thing. I spoke to about 5 people that live in LA, that work in LA, and they said that these protests were very, very orderly. They weren't violent, right, and they occurred in about a 4-block radius. Mm-hmm. And we all heard the
Yeah, very peaceful, very orderly, and just taking up a little small area. Really? What do you all orderly? Don't worry about what you're seeing from Ford Fisher and Ben Berquam and others. and Fox and Real America's Voice and all this other footage. It's just a small area, a couple people, real nice, just, watching cars burn, having a little fun. Don't you guys go in there and make it worse by sending in the police and come on.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's not like an Apple store got looted.
No.
Oh yes, it did.
What? I'm sorry. What happened?
That's the best part. Is that like I said last night, they can't hide this.
No, and no one believes
American
it.
People can see it.
They're not believing it now.
No.
That's the great.
There it is.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what the best part about this? And I've got to cut a follow up real quick. Cut number 11, because after this store was robbed, guess what? Those phones, they're not exactly. You can cut this right here. There they are. They're all set to set off the alarm, and they're all trackable. So the police were. The police were looking for these things because they're all traceable.
Brilliant.
And so the bunch of criminals are like, they're making noise. I can't turn it off. They throw it to the ground. They walk away. And here come the police to scoop it up.
26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B.
Vile. Yep. Every subject, she is just so wrong. I can't believe they haven't canceled this show. ABC did step up. Would they fire that guy Muir?
Terry Moran.
Moran,
yeah.
One of my lead stories that they fired his ass.
But good.
Well, I have.
It's not a real firing because his contract, I think, was basically up. So they've basically given him an off ramp, and he's given them an off ramp. These phonies.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and it's great. You know what about the mass arrest? Is something I said last night. I don't know if they were able to pull it off, but it sounds like they were, where they have this huge police presence, and they just surround a group of protesters.
Perfect.
Now you can't get out. And you hear the guy goes, "You're all under arrest," and they'll take their time and just grab them, and they start
one by one
out, and they start crying. Awesome.
There is this one little itsy bitsy part of me that was hoping the Marines would have to surround some of them, and let's see what happens then. But
yes.
Especially the
I probably
paid
shouldn't
protesters.
want to wish for that.
No, well, I mean,
okay.
I think these paid protesters deserve it, man.
Yes.
They deserve.
They can't go down hard enough. They can't go down hard enough.
They deserve to get beat.
Oh, there was a great clip. Somebody was arrested, tries to step on the cop's foot. Cop just sweeps the leg. It was like what do you call it?
John
Karate
Jones.
Kid. He just sweeps the leg. He sweeps the leg, drives the guy's face right into the ground. Boom.
It's an epidemic of not caring what the police say. You know, you hear those things when people get pulled over and they resist it and all that. I grew up. If you just agreed, you went along.
Yeah.
You cooperated.
Well, you know what's funny is that they think nothing can happen.
Look at when nothing's have happened.
Right, because nothing has. And now, all of a sudden, they're getting arrested and they break into tears and start wetting their pants.
Look at Shane, who we had on, with January 6th, the way they treated those people. And how are they going to treat these people? Are they actually going to see jail time? Are they going to be prosecuted for anything? I don't think they should be in jail for 3.5 years like they did to the January 6ers. But
I'd be okay with that.
They should serve time, but, enough where it hurts, but not like what they did to January 6ers. That was just communist China.
JE on YouTube, what's going on? Lisa on Facebook, you guys going to go over Hakeem Jeffries' delusional lies today? I mean, I could pretty much pick any day and probably do that. I don't know what today would be the difference, but
all he has to do is speak, and then you know what's a lie.
Hakeem's not high on my list of things to cover, no. But if you want to let us know, I'll read your. All right, right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday. No Slick. Slick will be back tomorrow for one night from his trip out to Minnesota.
He'll be spinning through sports.
He'll be spinning his way back right in here into sports. And then he'll be off Thursday again because he has some other event to go to. But so Slick will be here Wednesday and Friday this week.
Yeah. Good.
KDJ will be here tomorrow night. I'll be off tomorrow. Paul will be off tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be...
So it'll be Vinnie Mac, KDJ, Rick, and Slick tomorrow night. We'll take you through the night. And then Thursday, it'll be Vinnie Mac. We'll be back with Delgado and myself. And Slick will not be here. And then Friday, we'll be at the America First Warehouse without Harry on the highway this week. Harry will be on the road covering the big presidential parade.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, for Saturday.
So that's going on. So busy rest of the week. People everywhere. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Ben Berkwam joined us in the opening to set the scene of what's going on in L.A. Right now seems to be a little calmer, although there's been a lot going on during the day. A lot of arrests, a lot of police moving in bigger numbers to swarm and make multiple arrests in places. I saw some videos of 20, 30 guys surrounding maybe one or two guys to arrest them, to get them on doing whatever they have to do. So
let me clarify my point, though, on this January 6th thing, because I'm seeing some feedback on that, and I don't like it, because the guys at January 6th, we saw Shane, if you guys watched the show on Friday night, Shane was sentenced to 3.5 years, and a lot of other people that were there that just really didn't do a lot were sentenced to 3.5 years.
I think they served 4.5 years, I think he said.
4.5?
I think that's what he said.
He served real time.
Yeah.
These people should serve real time. I get it. No problem. I want to see them in jail. But what we saw with the January 6ers was egregious. These people just technically trespassed,
right,
and they got 4 years.
But some people, Vin, say the only way that it'll ever stop and for the next Democratic president is fire with fire. So you need to take people who maybe in a sane world that we lived in maybe 10 years ago would have gotten, 6 months and a fine, got 4 years. So why shouldn't these people who maybe should get 3 or 6 months and a fine get 4 years?
That's a fair argument, and I can understand that argument, and I can't argue against that.
And the next time that one of these slime balls, that you have a Democratic Department of Justice, that maybe they won't, maybe they'll think, maybe we just stick to the kind of letter of the law here and do what's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about, it seems the only ones they're arresting are the ones who are being aggressive, who are taking a swing at cops, who are throwing things. I'm sorry, but you're assaulting a police officer. That's more than just trespassing.
Yeah,
that's more than 3 years. I'd say I could see 6 or 7 if you want to go that route. If you want to, take up arms against law enforcement, well, then all bets are off. Throw the book at them. Throw several books at them.
Well, yeah, just throw the book at them. Let's like DEI. Why don't we just hire the best person? Whoever's best, do the job. Whatever it is, it is. How about we just get back to that?
Yeah.
But that's not what happens anymore. You get these people in there who weaponize these departments, who we saw for 4 years, and we saw what happened to these people on January 6th. Some who did nothing more than maybe jaywalking. I mean, so it's, It's crazy. So, I mean, if you want it to stop, some would say you have to punch these people back harder than they punched you. So
I hear you, and I'm not going to argue against it. I think you guys are right. I totally understand the deterrence of that and so on. My point was really that was so outrageous that, the offenses sometimes don't fit the sentences, but
that's the point.
Right?
Exactly.
In this case, after what happened, I get it. Eye for an eye, and they should get serious sentences.
Yeah, no due process. Go sit in the gulag, and maybe we'll get back to you in 3 or 4 years and let you know what you want to do. How's that sound?
That's terrible, man. Unbelievable.
So, there's a couple other things in the news before we actually get to the news with both of these guys. To get away from L.A. just for a second. We talked about this in the break, but I did see that ABC News, and I'm not giving them any credit here, by the way. They're a slimy organization. They're maybe the worst. ABC News fires Terry Moran days after his, I don't even know what the term would be that I could say actually on TV and not get cut off. his outburst at Stephen Miller, this tweet he put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving ABC no credit for this because I believe Terry Moran's contract with ABC was pretty much up. I think in like 2 more months.
Could have been. I'm not sure.
So he gave them an off-ramp to do this because they're sitting there looking, going, well, at this point, let's just cut our losses here and say sayonara. If he had 3 years left, you think they would have made this move? Maybe. But I'm not going to give him credit for it.
I don't think so. I doubt they would have made this move if he still had
It depends on the contract. If they would have had to pay him out, they probably wouldn't have. But if they had an out,
maybe,
which they probably all do on their contracts these days, they would have been like, you know what? Yeah, you're too much trouble. Do you want me to play Cut 20, Dame? Because in case people don't know who Terry Moran is,
you can. But I just want to also get to what ABC said today, which this is why you want to throw up in your hat. And then either that or just laugh out loud because they said, quote, at ABC News, let me read this in my broadcaster's voice, as KTJ would say. At ABC News, we hold our reporters to the highest standards of objectivity, fairness, and professionalism, and we remain committed to delivering straightforward, trusted journalism. What?
Joke.
Every word of that, you do the opposite. Every word. You do the opposite almost every day.
Amazing.
And that's just ABC News. Never mind what ABC carries, like The View and other things. And that guy who does the nightly news, who moderated the one of the debates there, whatever his name is, pretty boy there, who thought his job was to just correct Trump the whole night and tell him things that, like he was the instant fact checker on the scene.
They act like the left does.
What's his name?
Bill Muir.
Yeah, him.
Bill Muir. That's what I was thinking of before, too. Bill Muir. They're elitists. They're just like the left. They're elitists. They look down. They virtue signal with the things that they talk about. That quote from ABC is a total joke.
I mean, are you kidding me with that?
As a matter of fact, since most people probably couldn't pick Terry Moran out of a group of Terry Morans, here he is, Cut 20. Let us remind you what President Trump said to this guy to his face. Cut 20.
Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry.
So there you have it. The not talented Terry Moran is now not employed either.
You better have your stuff together if you're going to interview Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's going to call you on everything if you're going to interview that
especially
guy.
When you go in there with, your ideology just oozing out of you, and you expect us to sit across from you or expect him to sit across from you and have any inkling that this is going to be somewhat objective, or you're there to try to get anything constructive to help the viewer learn more about where you're coming from or whatever it is that you're talking about. I mean, Terry Moran has zero interest in any of that. It's gotcha, wherever way he can. It's confrontation. It's his ideology on all of these things, whether it was questions on January 6th, he's talking about what he felt about it. He's not asking legitimate questions or about anything. It could be anything. He's not asking anything to try to get real answers or anything that's going to let the viewer know that or learn something. He's there just to try to get you, to try to ruin your career, to try to get you to say something that's going to ruin your career or prove how smart he is to all of his other lackeys that he's going to have dinner with down at the Capitol Grill 2 hours after he's done with you. That's it.
And I love the change in the way the Republicans, particularly the Trump administration, is handling this. They're suing.
Yeah.
Kash Patel filed a lawsuit against the people who said he was out nightclubbing and all this stuff, and none of it's true. It's a blatant lie. But now they're actually suing. I used to wonder, like, well, all right, if you say they're lying, sue them. And maybe it's tough to do that. Maybe it's hard to win, whatever. But you see Trump. Trump's won a couple. Mm-hmm. Others have won. Kash Patel now is probably going to win because if it's factually untrue, that it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But now they're getting called out. They got to pay fines. They got to settle on this stuff.
Yeah.
And that is a really good way of making them accountable and maybe thinking twice. And maybe a guy like this joker, Moran,
yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Maybe this Joker is just one of those times where they're like, you know what? We can't afford to have someone else out there like this guy who's going to tweet what he tweeted.
Yeah, who's going to get us fined more than his salary. So it's best that we just cut bait and let him go find some gig somewhere on a street corner.
Yeah. All right, let's do a little news here in this segment, then we'll come back. Rick Delgado's got the news brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. Eternal Life Coin, all one word. It's a beautiful piece. Check it out, EternalLifeCoin.com. Delgado, what's some of the headlines going on today?
Right. Well, one of the biggest headlines of the biggest stories in the world, Damon, aside from the LA riots, is President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visiting Fort Bragg ahead of the big military celebration set for Saturday. The nation's largest military installation, Fort Bragg, earlier today, and sending National Guard and U.S. Marines to respond to the protests in L.A. Here's President Trump at Fort Bragg talking about the L.A. riots. This is cut number 8. Check this out for yourself. Trump at Fort Bragg, cut 8.
The agitators are throwing firebombs and Molotov cocktails, lighting vehicles ablaze. You saw the cars that were burning, mobbing police officers and ICE officers who are the toughest people you'll ever meet, and they love our country, and they're getting really they want to stomp on them, but they're too tough. They don't allow it. And attempting to infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice who it is. They're already on it. Who's financing all this equipment? Very professional. Under the Trump administration,
yeah, you can pause it there,
anarchy.
Aaron. Again, President Trump talking about what's going on in L.A. at the gathering there at Fort Bragg. He seamlessly, of course, integrated other messages throughout his speech, along with Secretary Pete Hegseth. But here's the moment I think that really steals the show. For everybody there, all the members of the military standing there at Fort Bragg. Here it is. This is cut number 18. This is what they came for, Damon. This is the big finale by President Trump. Cut 18. Check this out. And the crowd goes nuts.
They lost it.
I love it.
He says, get out of here. What are you laughing at that for?
Again, the president taking his opportunity to make everybody laugh and have a good time. He also mentions that generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion from within and third world lawlessness here at home. And he applauded the courage and strength of the incredible troops who are right now standing guard to protect the federal property, personnel, and uphold the supremacy of law. So there you have it. President Trump speaking today at Fort Bragg.
Listen, when you're a badass and you're in the Marines or in any of these military outfits, and the commander-in-chief is as badass as the one we have now, people who kick ass like they see other guys who kick ass.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the bottom line. That's why these guys, they know he ain't playing around.
That's called leadership.
He's got steel backbone just like they do. That's why they're one and the same when it comes to those things. So they respond in kind to him. All right, live from Studio 6B. We'll do more when we get back right after this.
You know, if you're a leader and you really lead and you show you got backbone, the people who are on the front lines, man, they really appreciate that. And you see such a difference. You see such a difference too in just the attitude of these guys. You know, they look like they're very engaged, even though he made a long speech today.
Yeah.
And I think he loves that too. Look at what he's done for the veterans. I mean, just the medical side of the veterans, and so they don't have to wait a year to get treatment on something. They can go to a regular doctor, and the government will pay for that. I mean, we treat these illegals, and so many other people don't deserve it better than our freaking veterans. It's backwards and upside down. Matter of fact, I'd be for paying our veterans 10 times more than they're getting. Give them 10 times more than what we're giving them. I'd be more than comfortable with that. They should live really good lives.
Okay.
People want to see slick spin.
I've got it.
It's on X, right? If you look at Delgado's feed on X, it's up there.
I'm going to pin it to my profile.
Oh, Sherry Merrill says Delgado's impulsive dance said his gun show is coming at 10.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see the gun show with Rick Delgado with those hand dances that he does there.
There it is. I pinned Slick Rick to my profile, so if you go there, you can see the real spin. I'm even going to put it in the chat. I'll copy the link in the chats because you got to see it.
LA officials to enact curfew for parts of downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, but it's peaceful protesting, Dave.
Yeah, why would they do that?
That's crazy.
Downtown LA is really nice now, too. They've gentrified the whole place. There's beautiful condos, restaurants, all this stuff. It's not like it was. It's a really nice place to live.
Is it?
It was. It is. Have you been down there recently?
No.
Yeah, if you haven't, it really is nice. I mean, I don't like what's going on. You can't go into a convenience store and buy anything because they're under lock and key. But
all right, YouTube chat. I just put it in there. You could click on it and go and check it out. The Slick Rick spin. Same with the X chat, the Twixes, and same with the Rumblers.
Put it on Facebook. Oh, I got all my.
Oh yeah,
on
I do Facebook.
I got all my
I'll do
Facebook
Facebook
peeps here.
Follow me on Facebook. I'll
To the hour live from Studio 6B. So, Aaron, what is this footage, Aaron, that we're going to roll now? This is footage from this is arrest footage that Ben had gotten right before we went live with him. All right, so let's roll. This is a little earlier in LA, like Ben said. They certainly picked up today as far as arresting, and I asked him what the difference was. He said yesterday he saw maybe one arrest. Today he's seen hundreds. Here you can kind of see. Got them all lined up.
Oh, she's going to have a hard time dealing with that one.
Whoops.
White girl.
They always look the part.
You got a record now.
They always look the part. Why is that?
Is that Billie Eilish?
Liberal white girl, liberal white boy.
Entitled.
Liberal white girl.
Uh-huh. Again, yes. They always look the part.
Yeah.
I'm for whatever is happening here.
Okay.
I don't know what her name is. Oh.
Nope.
This guy's a little upset.
Oh, you got quite a hairpiece there.
I believe this whole group was attempting to get on the freeway.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing, blocking highways.
Maybe they should have let them when a bus was coming, but maybe not.
That's instant jail time. You block a highway for a protest. I mean, you disrupt an entire economy by doing that. Instant arrest.
Right. Because it's not effective. You're not winning anybody over to your side.
No.
It's like the people who protest naked. I'm sorry. Most of the people who protest naked, nobody wants to see you naked. It's like we don't.
Is that a thing? What are you talking about?
Protesting. You haven't seen these people?
Yeah.
No, thank God.
Yeah.
It's like the people that protest in the roadway. Nobody wants to see you on the roadway. Nobody cares. They're trying to get someplace. The same thing with being. If you protest naked, guess what? It's because nobody wants to see you naked.
Okay, there you
Idiots.
go. There's things you can only learn here on Live from Studio 6.
Yeah. We have a whole the nudity hour.
You're not familiar with the nude protest?
No, Delgado, I'm not.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
You need to get out, Damon.
Yeah, just Aaron says just you, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she's a
shocker.
She's much younger than us. She's not seen.
No, she's just normal.
The naked protesters. I'm sure Fran has come across naked protesters.
I'll bet not. Fran?
I've seen worse than naked protesters.
Okay.
Okay. Naked protesters are terrible.
Very good.
Vomit-inducing.
All right, 11 minutes till the hour, live from Studio 6B. I don't know. Is there a lot of other news? I guess. Well, maybe. Okay, it's fine. All right, fine, Delgado. Well, tell us what it is. What else?
Is there other naked news, though?
I was going to do news with Vin, though, first. So let me do Vin.
Let me do one quick, because this one's for you.
Do it.
I know how you love the Harry Enton and his poll.
I love Harry Enton.
Harry Enton's got another poll.
I'm from out of town.
And it's just for you.
Not familiar.
Senior data reporter, you know him as Harry the Dancing Enton, said that Donald Trump's approval rating on immigration is now skyrocketing.
Well, I did this yesterday.
No, this is a different one. Check this out. This is cut number 3. This is another poll. You're going to love it. Cut 3.
Could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS +6. You see it here, CNN +6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, +19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans. The American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans, and that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, so there you have it.
Let's get Harry off the set, please. Let's get Harry off the set, John. He's doing it again, talking
Richard
common
Simmons.
sense.
Pole dancing to the oldies, everybody. Here's the polls.
I love Harry Enton.
Yeah.
You do.
I love his delivery. I love
that
his,
guy.
His Broadway delivery.
Yes, his
I
presentation.
love it all.
It's almost slick Rick.
And I love the fact that whoever he's on set with is usually standing there going, I can't believe this.
What's funny, you're right. They usually kind of stand back because they don't know where he's going to be flailing next as he's dancing and preening.
But every one of those people who does a segment with him all feel the total opposite. So as he's actually talking real truth and common sense in some of these polls, they're all thinking, can we get him off the set, please?
He's our good luck charm, man, because he keeps posting really good polls. This is great. I love this guy.
Yeah.
All right, Vinnie Mac, 9 minutes till the hour. What's going on? What else is on your mind?
Well, I have stuff outside of the protest, although I just got an alert from one of my news sources. And they said 15 people were just arrested in New York City for anti-ICE protests. So,
New York City.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to spread. We know that. We know it's coming Saturday. Did you say one of your news sources?
And one of my news sources. Yes, I have sources all over the planet providing me with tips and insight on a regular basis.
Okay, on a regular basis.
Yeah,
okay.
on a regular basis.
Okay, very good.
Keeps them regular. Good.
If they arrest these people, though, to the point we were talking about before, arrest 15 people in New York, but then what happens? We have seen arrest after arrest over the last few years where people are just being released. Criminals, 10 times arrested, 20 times. Felons, let out. They have to lock and incarcerate these people. Arrest is not enough. Let's put it that way.
Well, the thing is going to be in all these cities, are the cops going to be allowed to actually do their job and put these people down? That's the thing. And you noticed all of these places, all of the places that they're going to do these protests are going to be in places where we know blue cities where the people in charge want to tie the cops' hands, don't want to let them do their job, and if they do their job, it's in the front door, out the back door with most of these criminals anyways, and they're right back on the street. So that's the problem. If they were made an example of, and it was excessive force used on these people, they would put it down fairly quickly, I suspect, in most of these, if the cops were allowed to actually go be cops.
And if they were put in jail for a period of time, there's no question. Both of those things would happen. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't see half this stuff. Looting, what's the penalty for looting? Destroying someone's business. You're stealing from somebody. You're stealing their income. It's grand theft, frankly. Yeah. Grand larceny. Nothing happens to these people. They know who they are.
I remind you of George H.W. Bush. I remind you of other presidents that have used force and excessive force in these situations, lethal, deadly force. There was 9 people shot and killed during the riots by law enforcement in 1992 in L.A. I mean, and they put it down. They put a stop to it eventually. You know, you see friends and people who you're there with, not friends, but people who are also getting paid to go do this, end up in the local morgue. You start to think, well, I don't know, maybe the $200 is not really, and the nice mask that they bought and delivered to me is maybe not all that worth it.
I do like that they're tracking the money. All of this, by the way, that we see that we get crazy about, follow the money. The money will lead you to the people that are financing this, because you just got blind minions out there doing dumb stuff, but there's big money behind them. Big, and some of it's our own money. Some of it's right out of USAID that we're funding. I mean, I saw some research yesterday that there's major money that we gave out that's gone into paying for these rioters in L.A. right now. That some immigration fund where they're supposed to be dealing with, how illegals are treated and all this kind of stuff. They got millions, and they're the ones funneling a lot of money for people to protest and do all this stuff. Yeah, we're feeding the system ourselves.
Right. We saw the trucks delivering the masks. We see the very nicely produced signs that they all seem to be carrying. That it just doesn't happen overnight. That's not some kid helping his mom with his Crayola crayons put together a sign to go protest. No.
A good protest, yeah. Make your own sign. Now they got these people providing pre-printed signs coming in.
Yep.
But it does make you just very, very appreciative of what Doge did in uncovering these things, because we're seeing it in real time right now. Money funneled to associations that are supposed to support these illegals. Why, I don't know. But they're the ones funneling money here, and Doge has exposed them. Doge exposed a lot more on top of that. So we're seeing it in action right now. Good for them.
Yeah. Congrats.
All right, let's take a break. Man, that's the end of the first hour already. Holy cow. All right, hour 2 coming back. We'll actually do some news with Vin, and we'll do some news with Delgado. I got a couple things as well. John Solomon broke a big story yesterday. We didn't get a chance to really talk about it on that little gnome. Speaking of people who should be in jail with an orange jumpsuit, how about Dr. Fauci? Put him there. We'll get to that. Lots coming up. Hour 2 right after this.
Chat, live in the chat. One of my favorite new names that I found in the Rumble chat, Damon. Supersonic Ninja Hippo.
Supersonic Ninja Hippo?
In the Rumble chat. That's the best new name I've seen.
That is a pretty good name.
That's a pretty awesome name.
You like supersonic things?
Right.
I do.
Love supersonic.
Me too.
So have you been to a Sonic?
Yes,
I've never been.
I haven't. You have?
Yeah.
You've been to Sonic.
Of course.
What did you get there?
Burgers.
Are they good?
They're supposed to have good burgers.
They are pretty good.
Yeah.
Really?
I got a special
Aaron
diet
says they
now.
Suck, and you have no idea what you're talking about.
I've been to just about every burger place in the country.
Just telling you.
I mean, named, big, more than one.
When were you out in L.A.? What years?
In and Out?
In and Out? Of course, In and Out. Stop.
No, but L.A., give me your year in L.A.
93 to 95.
Tommy's number 5?
Tommy's was in there. Oh, I used to go to Tommy's at night after.
Me too.
I went there one night after I saw Matt LeBlanc got tossed out of the, what do you call it? What was that big bar on? It was like made of wood.
The wooden bar.
No, but it was right down the street from Tommy's.
I was a regular Tommy's too.
Sally's.
That was a late night place.
It was on Hollywood.
Johnny's.
It was on Sunset Boulevard.
Sally's.
Yeah,
No.
Damon's
Wendy's. Woody's. It's Woody's.
It's not Woody's. And what's funny, too, is that I had a crush on my neighbor in my building.
Yes. What was his name?
And then
Frank.
That's very funny.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I went to the strip club on Sunset Boulevard.
Speaking of naked protesting,
the one
yeah, is that where the naked protesting was happening?
The one that's featured in Girls, 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 right? Motley Crue's Girls.
Oh yeah,
this is good though.
And she was a dancer there, and I was like, oh my God.
That was Rick's first experience with naked protesting.
Awesome.
Strippers.
This was in my cool life. I had a very cool life.
Yeah,
now I do this.
Sounds really
But Tommy's number 5, the chili burgers.
The chili burger, because and you can get that at 3 in the morning.
That's when it's best. The
and
chili burger.
The fries were good too, and they put
chili
it in the box.
fries.
Yeah, and they just
vanilla
covered
shake.
them. Yeah.
I used to go there regularly.
That was a shiznick, as they say. I can't say the word.
I can't believe you know that. That's an insider place.
That's an
real
awesome
LA
place.
people know Tommy's number 5.
Yeah.
Stuck in the middle. With me.
And they also
Damon's left out. Damon doesn't travel past New Jersey.
No. Anything past exit.
What the hell is he talking
not
about?
happening.
New Jersey.
What?
Like Wanta.
Here's the deal. If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
That's right. Thank you, Joe. Live from Studio 6B, Hour 2 on Real
What's
America's.
that?
Real America.
What is
Don't
that?
you worry about it. Real America's Voice.
I did not know that.
That's right, Vin. You didn't know that Joe cut that for us, huh? We have a couple.
Joe who?
He doesn't even remember doing it. That's the best part.
Yeah. I mean, Joe who? What's wrong with that?
That's an amazing, very inspired articulation of
Thank you.
Live from Studio 6B.
We wrote the script for him using AutoPen.
Yes, exactly.
Did he ad-lib? Yeah.
It was 12 cuts to get the 6 words out, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
that's good.
Hour 2 coming up. Ben Berkwam joined us in the first hour to tell us what was going on in L.A. And, well, a lot during the day, a lot of arrests, but it seemed fairly orderly when we had Ben on because they had an overwhelming police response, at least in the area where he was. Now, obviously, you go to social media, there's other footage that looks like there's still things going on. Now, there's a curfew that's been put in place for tonight. So, more to the point of not messing around. We hadn't seen that yet. So now we're seeing that tonight as well, a curfew. And I would suspect they're going to be very firm in making sure that curfew is followed.
Oh, yeah. Very strict out there.
So, yeah, we didn't get to the footage that we racked up from last night, some of the arrests and things. So let's roll some of that, Aaron.
That's what happens after a Tommy's number 5 chili burger.
That's the inside of your stomach.
This was last night.
It's terrible.
And the thing on social media you're starting to see now tonight, and maybe because, you know, when you talk about these things being well funded and whoever's funding them and organizing them, they think, well, maybe Los Angeles is, not that it's run its course, but obviously all the attention is there, all the police presence is there, the National Guard is there, the California National Guard has been called up by the feds. But now you're starting to see, you wonder what's going to happen in these other places. I see this one tonight. I'd be very concerned about Denver tonight.
Really?
Anti-ICE rally. Lots of assaults. Get out of the city. Lots of Antifa.
Yeah, they're coordinating now, and they're trying to hit mostly blue cities because, you know, this will not fly anywhere in Texas, anywhere in any red state, red city, anything.
Well, actually, they are having a problem in Austin, very liberal city.
Austin's not even part of Texas, okay? Austin is a liberal haven. I was there for 3 years, and I could not believe the difference in that little town of Austin. And once you get outside it, it's completely different. Right. And they all came from California. All these tech companies, they brought all the people, and they brought all their policies. What do you have in Austin? Homeless everywhere. Mm-hmm. You have all the crazy liberal policies, DEI everywhere, inclusion, you know, all those soft words, not to upset anybody. It's a shame because Austin is such an amazing town, a beautiful town, but it's on an island in itself.
Right.
Robert Smith today, I think, makes a good point in the American Thinker, and it's what we've been talking about. And listen, let's face it, this is why Gavin Newsom's sitting on his hands, and Karen Bass is sitting on her hands for the most part, for the better part of this 72 hours, whatever it's been. And that's because the LA riots proved that the Democrats need illegals. This is their constituency. This is the party. They support this. They've enabled it. The state of California is aided and abetted the Biden administration in letting tens of millions of people in. And now you're seeing the result of that. And he says, when your party says ICE is bad and illegals rioting are good, you can bet that that's the Democrats' calculation. Riots are underway in L.A. Mask-wearing provocateurs are waving Mexican flags. L.A. Is their Mount Suribachi. A lot of people say that if illegals love Mexico so much, then go back home. But that misses the point. And by the way, I said that. And he says that misses the point. What's happening in L.A. is about conquest. Hoisting Mexican flags on U.S. soil stakes a claim. This real estate is ours, declare the troublemakers, among whom are surely homegrown leftist agitators. L.A. in part smells like a George Floyd riots redo, and that's exactly right. In this instance, federal agents acting on behalf of American citizens are being fought. The feds tucking tail is the aim. Meanwhile, Democrats are quiet for the most part. Well, not exactly quiet, but there is no full-throated condemnation of the punks and agitators inflicting mayhem on law enforcement and the innocent Los Angelinos. We hear weasel words instead. Well, you heard from a couple Democrats that I pointed out today. The only two that I've heard that really voiced is Fetterman and Dan Turntine on the morning show with Mark Halpern, which I watch, and it's good to watch. And he makes a lot of sense. He might be the only Democrat that does. And he says we can't claim the moral high ground here when we're on the wrong side of this issue. We are on the wrong side of this issue. You cannot defend this behavior. And Fetterman essentially said the same thing today in his tweet. Gavin Newsom condemns the violence, calls for peaceful protests, while the thugs burn cars, pelt police with stones, and loot stores. Newsom criticizes Trump for deploying the National Guard units to restore order. Karen Bass's moral outrage is reserved, of course, exclusively for ICE agents. ICE is instigating terror in our communities, she says. Who was junketing in Africa earlier in the year as the Palisades burned? Violence needs to be met with, wait for it, peaceful responses, they say. Translate, law enforcement and the National Guard need to scram. That's what Kamala Harris, in pure Orwellian fashion, said Trump's deployment of National Guard units is a dangerous escalation and cruel. Jimmy Gomez visited the detention center. He's a Democrat. He deplored the conditions. Detainees claimed the big-hearted congressman lacked food, water, and medicine, a bogus allegation. And, of course, nifty propaganda. And that's what they do, propaganda. L.A. County Supervisor Janice Hahn came out for the peaceful protest without condemning the lawbreakers or condemning any of the violence. Maybe these California Democrats would have preferred Trump deploying crisis counselors. A little kumbaya goes a long way, right? Of course. Democrats always sing from the same song sheet. A unified front is a leftist tactic the Democrats picked up. They're all calling for peaceful protests and deploring the National Guard's deployment. With mobs attacking ICE agents and rioters looting and damaging property, with LA citizens being terrorized, the only response is a show of force. If the bad guys don't back down, then force is the recourse. And don't hesitate to deploy more National Guard units if it's warranted. We know what the Democrats' prescription is for stopping the street violence. Just call off the ICE raids, Mr. President. Leave illegal immigrants alone. Wink, wink, the riots will cease. Sure. Never mind that the Trump administration's priority is removing the worst criminals among us, undocumented immigrants. In the early going, Border Czar Tom Homan and Kristi Noem have had striking success in locating Tren de Aragua desperados as well as MS-13 gangbangers. Who do these cold-blooded gangsters prey on first? Innocents in the Latino communities. Surely Democrats favor Trump administration initiatives to root out the worst criminal elements in communities that they say they champion, don't they? The open secret is that the Democrats need lots of illegal aliens. They need them. Replenishing their constituencies with the undocumented is critical for political success. What they fear is further ICE roundups leading to deportations of even larger numbers of illegals. Their fear isn't without basis. Tom Homan has commented that greater number of apprehensions are required. For Democrats, depleting illegals' population and sealing the southern border is a recipe for political disaster. They fear the next U.S. Census. Every 10 years, national census counts matter in terms of federal dollars that are allocated. U.S. House representation, allocation of electoral votes by state. If the 2030 census shifts House seats to red states, it'll mean shifting electoral college votes. Blue states will pay dearly. That's what they fear. And I think he's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot there to unpack, because one of the mistakes I think we all make is you get a situation like this and commentary like that, which is spot on, but it is so much bigger than just this piece. It's the Democrats' insatiable desire of power. And you can go back to all of these things where they enable dependency. Look what they've done to the black community from a dependency standpoint. They've enabled dependency at such a level now that there's, kids being born left and right, so they get a little more money from their welfare recipients and others. They've made people dependent, so they vote their way. They've also destroyed the inner city school systems. We're not only have people dependent on them, you have them not educated. They control the school boards. They control the education system, particularly in the cities. You've seen some of this stuff in New York City, right? You were in the education system. They have controlled, from a mass standpoint, especially in the inner cities where the people are most dependent on them, they've controlled the education system. So now you have all of these people, and now you've got illegals, and you have immigrants. They think they can control that whole narrative, too, by flooding them into our country and then protecting them through all this stuff. It's all about an insatiable desire for power, but it's broad. It goes so far. They have hijacked so many things in this country that we have to unwind. This is just one microcosm of their insatiable desire of power. It's all about that. That's just one group.
Yeah. But I think to his point where he says that what he sees is a battlefront in a larger war, and that larger war is illegals, immigrants saying this turf is ours.
Yeah.
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 The American turf is ours. And the Democrats, by the way, not even tacitly, they outwardly support that claim and that position. And they enable it, they aid it and abet it.
And they really don't even know the history, because before it was the Mexicans that were in California, it was the Mayans and the Incas.
Oh, yeah.
And who was there before that? There was Asian tribes that came across the land bridge between Russia and Alaska that used to inhabit that first. So if you want to talk about, inhabiting land, sorry, Mexicans who get your language from Spain and your Christianity from there as well. You're really missing the point here. You don't really have any claim to anything. People get conquered all the time, and that's the way human history is.
Right, but right now they want to de-Americanize America.
Right.
That's exactly right. Whatever works for them.
13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More Delgado, more Vinnie Mac News. Aaron Fran holding it down. And you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll get into the chat coming up right now.
Very astute comment here by Charles Parker. He says that the hospitals, the schools are all flooded with illegals. Our emergency services are being sucked dry. It is so they're overwhelmed, especially in the cities across this country. This is too many people. to educate, to take care of with all these illegals that they flooded into our country. But they don't care. They just want power. That's the only reason this was done. So they don't care if it overwhelms it and some innocent person can't get the help they need or whatever is happening because of this policy or strategy. It's not even policy. It's strategy.
Oh.
Jet live in the chats. Howdy do.
Gary S. on YouTube, thanks very much.
What do we got? Do we got a super chat?
No, just a comment.
Oh, okay.
That's not some negative nonsense, so might as well highlight that.
Greta Garbo, how you doing? It's good to see you out there. I know you were away or off the show there for a little bit. I didn't see you the last couple of weeks. It's good to see you back.
The comments have been very nice, Dave.
Yeah, everyone's being very nice. I love Damon. Damon's the man.
I don't know where you're seeing any of that.
Damon was at the Prince retreat. No, I wasn't there. A lot of comments.
Definitely not. What did you say, Aaron? What am I doing?
Live reads. Live reads. Dave Syverson knows one to do whatever.
NHM?
At his chance.
What is that? What is that, though?
Chicago's starting to become active. New York's being active.
Yep, there's a big protest. I see video from Chicago.
What will they do in Chicago and Boston when that happens? You know, with the way the mayor and so on have handled everything
They'll be like,
date.
hey, is there anything we can get you? Do you want an In-N-Out burger?
Yeah, can we get you a milkshake? Cup of coffee?
We get you?
Just upside down, just backwards, man, backwards.
It's great. Let them keep doing it.
Well,
primary election in New Jersey today, Damon, Lorraine. Yeah, I saw that Cantrelli won, huh? I think that's the guy Trump backed, even though the real conservative was the other guy, of course.
Cantrelli. How you doing, Cantrelli?
We picked the more popular guy. Is that what happened, I think?
What's up, Pat Murray?
Damon needs a Harley. I've never rode a motorcycle, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Totally believable.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me?
Oh, Aaron thinks that's funny. Oh, is that funny, Aaron? Okay.
Take
never
one of
rode
those
a
big
motorcycle.
cigars.
I've never been outside of Long Island. I've never...
Sound like the blues. What's wrong with me? 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let me talk to you about our friends over at the Wellness Company. The new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to have to start at home with each and every one of us, and that's, of course, where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time right here on Real America's Voice, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure that you are prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice today and buy everything that they have. twc.health/voice. twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE at checkout to save an additional 10%. twc.health/voice. Our friends at the Wellness Company. Again, Make America Healthy Again starts at home. Check them out today and save an additional 10% by using promo code VOICE at checkout. That's twc.health/voice. 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do, Vinnie Mac, did you do news before? I know I asked you, but then we got onto something.
I did not do news. What
else is on your mind, Tim?
I have a couple of things on my mind. I don't know if you've been following this Greta Thunberg story. And the reason I bring it up is because I'm very happy The Israelis did one particular thing. So she and her little social media following, this is the green, girl. The girl that's always got a green cause is Greta Thunberg. You've heard of her. Mm-hmm. She's out there. She thinks she's got a big social media following.
She's a
and
little
all that.
twerp is what she is.
She is a little twerp. So she decided to support the Palestinians. She was going to take a sailboat into Israel and protest their actions in Gaza and all that type of stuff. And the Israelis seized the boat, and they were going to send them on their way. But they did something that everyone who supports the Palestinians and really Hamas in this needs to see. They took the clips from all the video that they apprehended from Hamas soldiers of all the killings that they did and the horrific way they were done. They put it together in like a documentary, and they made them all watch it. And that's the thing everybody misses when you hear about these atrocities. You hear about what's going on in Gaza, and there's bad stuff going on in there, and we're trying to get the bad people, and innocent people are being killed, and that is horrible. But what happened was even worse. These people were slaughtered. And what you get these protesters and people like Greta Thunberg who have no clue about what's really going on. They're just taking up a cause that's some liberal cause that really is so off base and meaningless. And then they get forced to see what actually happened, the real stuff. The real horrific nature in which these people butchered these Israelis. And I think that's what needs to happen. You hear left-wingers all over this country supporting Hamas. We've seen the protests. We've seen gays for Hamas. We've seen all sorts of people supporting Hamas. I bet you 10 minutes with that footage, they either will change their mind or their eyes might be opened. But they don't see. They only see what the left media is presenting to them, which is none of this. No one's ever been exposed to the horrors that happened there. I'm not going to name the things that happened because I have to say, I can't even deal with it. The stuff was so horrific, what they did to babies and and everybody there. It was horrible, horrible, worse than the Holocaust. As bad as concentration camp stuff. Let's put it that way. As bad as that. So I say kudos to Israel for not only disrupting her little charade that she had there, but forcing them to watch this thing, which might open a few eyes. Other piece of news that came through, it just came through tonight, and there's a story on China I wanted to cover, but apparently they've agreed to trade terms, just came out. I just got an alert that the Chinese and the U.S. have agreed to whatever they have on this whole tariff thing, so that's good news. The market's going to respond really well. But for the third time in a week, maybe 10 days, they've apprehended another Chinese, I have to call them a spy, spy of some sort, smuggling in an illegal biological material. There was the fungus, there was another material, now here's a third material. The Chinese are trying really hard to infiltrate our food supply. They've already infiltrated most of our digital footprint. I mean, they're already in a lot of our infrastructure through their cyber techniques. They have been doing this for years. The Biden administration, by the way, they looked away. They didn't pursue any of this stuff. We had 4 years, literally, of letting the Chinese go wild. That spy balloon that went across, that was just in your face. We're going to keep doing this stuff. But 4 years they had to gain traction. Now they've got all these viruses coming in here. I'm not sure, Rick, do you know exactly what they are? I know that they're things that kill our food supply and other things, but they do something like that, right?
Yeah, that's basically the thing. Now, was this because I know the first two, like the first one from last week, University of Michigan, the one from Monday, University of Michigan. I'm sensing a pattern. For this third one, Vin, is this person also a
same university, University of Michigan.
University of Michigan.
So they were
seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, we're seeing a pattern here of horrific things. First of all, University of Michigan. This is why Trump. All the stuff they say that he's doing is just so off base, because this is why he's trying to stop these foreigners from coming into our universities. There's a lot of them are spies. The Chinese are just notorious for this stuff. But I don't know what other countries are doing it, but I'm sure there are many. Trump's trying to stop this. And here we go, major things. If they put that fungus in our farmland, by the way, they spread like wildfire, it would have killed huge amounts of crops. And if it didn't kill the crops, we would have consumed some of this food and it would have hurt us. Maybe it would have made us sick. Maybe it would have killed some people. I mean, that's what they did with fentanyl. Why wouldn't they do that with this fungus and so on?
Right.
So we're at war, whether we realize it or not. And I realize there's a major implication with China and trade and manufacturing and all these things that these two countries, us and them, have to cooperate together, or at least seem to have to cooperate together. But we are at hardcore war with China. End of story.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. We covered the first one. I didn't realize all three of them were from University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of you know, I'm not a police officer or investigator or anything like that, but that would led me to believe that maybe there's something we should be looking into at the University of Michigan.
We're on it because we're catching them.
Just throwing it out there.
Kash Patel said in his interviews, and he's been talking to the media a little bit more lately, that they're on this. And he noted 4 years of absence of focus on China and what they're doing. 4 years. That's just too much time to allow a bad actor like China to infiltrate our stuff. So Kash is on it, the FBI's on it, and they've caught 3. How many might have gotten through?
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
the question.
know.
What don't we know about?
And in our discussions with China, think about this. You're in that room. You're discussing tariffs. You're talking about trade. And I don't know how you do that with a straight face, knowing what they've tried to do. The cyber thing is incomprehensible. They can turn off a lot of our infrastructure right now. And they might do that one day. But when they're putting in poisons, that's a whole other thing. How are they having a straight face and talking about these things?
All right, 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. When we get back, Lisa King is going to join us. She's a pharmacist, Scottsdale, Arizona. She'll be here to talk about nation's health. We'll do that when we get back right after this.
Yeah, that's good. Good flow.
Actually,
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going back on Facebook here.
No, they are.
Have some intelligent conversation here on Facebook.
With who?
What?
Who are you having a conversation with? Somebody who said they were your friend, but now stabs you in the back every chance they get?
Chat. What's going on?
Ken Lakey's. Is it Lakey's? I think it's Ken Lakey's is on the same page there. Gerald Wayne Hawkins, he gets it on China. Actually, he's the one that fed me the information, one of my news sources out there, on the third apprehension. He's on it.
Damon, it's cold up there. Yeah, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's June. It's ridiculous.
It's
absolutely
cold up
ridiculous.
there.
Rained all day today and
I
like
got short
50
sleeve shirt on.
degrees.
How come you're in a sweatshirt and I'm in a short sleeve shirt?
I'm freezing
And
all
so
day.
is Rick.
Freezing.
I'm in a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah. Now there's no quiche over
What
here.
Is this a competition? Who cares?
Why do you gotta have such
Racing
a big,
Banshee on X. Hello.
Why do you have such a big sweatshirt on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. They only make them in that size.
You could parachute in this if I gave this to you. Don't start now, Damon. Very dangerous. You got to be riding bicycles, skateboard, dirt bikes before you ride a street bike. Oh, that's me riding a Harley?
He would never. No, he hasn't.
I could jump right on that bad boy and ride it right now. Put my cowboy hat on. Come on.
Yeah. Training wheels and all.
I want the one where my hands are up here.
A chopper.
You would never be able to do that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I see you on a Vespa.
The hell's that? Aaron, why are you laughing at that?
No, it's a whole nother joke.
Stop trying to blame other people. You are laughing.
Francis is on a roll. Francis is doing some stand-up back there, which she's not laughing at you.
Yeah.
Damon's going to the riots in a hoodie after this show. Wes from Texas. Yeah, well, yes.
In a green hoodie.
I'll fit right in. They'll never pick me out. I'd pay to see that, me riding a Harley. Farmer Brook. How much would you pay? I'll tell you where to send the check.
Yeah, we could do a little fundraiser. Damon on choppers.
Damon, you could not ride a bicycle. Rob Owen. Well, that's hurtful.
Yeah, you know what? Joe the Box has a
Joe the Box has
at the warehouse
and stuff. I'll check it out and ride it around the America's
Put your money
warehouse
where your
on
mouth is
Friday
on
night,
Friday
live.
and ride it.
How about that?
Yeah, do that. Bring it, tough guy.
Punk. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. On a Tuesday night, someone said I could see Damon roller skating.
Yeah, that's an interesting look.
Hey.
I think I did roller skate in my early days.
You and that survey guy from CNN could roller skate together.
Yeah, Harry Enton. I'd love to go roller skating with Harry.
You could do the
I love
couple
that guy.
skate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Please welcome back to the show Lisa King. She's a pharmacist from Scottsdale, Arizona. Of course, she's an award-winning pharmacist of about 37 years. She's an Amazon best-selling author. Lisa, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Great, thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, what was your best-selling author? What was some of your books about?
Well, the book that I wrote is called Tiny Life Changes. It's a book that I wrote with my sister, and it's all about achieving your goals and dreams one step and one day at a time.
Oh, very good. There you go. And that's available where books are sold. Probably Amazon would be the place to check it out if you want to check that out. So tell the audience, I know you were on before, but we have a lot of new viewers all the time, a little bit about Nation Health MD. And they make some wonderful health supplements. Tell us a little bit about them, maybe what makes them different from others who are doing this. What should we know about them?
Well, what I love about Nation Health MD is that they truly make getting healthy very easy. And we're both of the belief that it doesn't have to be complicated to take care of yourself or your health. It really is just all about making tiny changes daily that lead to big results and better health. The other thing is that Nation Health MD really truly does care about your results. They work with a team of experts and scientists to bring you the latest products that are with natural ingredients backed by the latest in scientific research. So you can be assured that all of these products are safe and effective. The other thing is that they really care about American jobs. All 26 of their products are made right here in America, and that is very important to so many people.
Yeah. I think you said 26 there. So of the 26, is there one that I don't know how to ask this, I guess. So like looking at the age group of the people who would go to Nation's Health MD, I mean, maybe, I don't know how early, 30s, 40s, up to 60s, 70s, 80s. Is there one that you would say stands above the others where people need the most when you get into your 50s and 60s? Or give me some of your favorites that they have.
Well, I'm going to start off with the one that I feel is the most popular because I'll get so many questions on this certain product, and it's called Liver Renew. Now, over 100 million people have a sluggish liver, and many people are not aware of this. And the liver can have fat deposits, which then lead to excess weight gain and really slows down the metabolism. So the natural ingredients in Liver Renew help to revive your liver, reduce those fat deposits, and can spark your metabolism again to help with healthy weight management. So that would be the most popular one. We have many other products as well, too.
All right, very good. And if you're interested in any of those that Lisa mentioned, you can head over to nationshealthmd.com where you can find more information about the supplements. Try them risk-free. And for the next 48 hours, you can save 35% on your order with coupon code 6B, real simple, 6B. Save 35%. You're protected by their 365-day money-back guarantee, so you risk nothing by giving them a try. But again, it's an incredible 35% discount, but it's only available for the next 48 hours. So shop now and save before it's too late. Go to nationhealthmd.com. All one word, nationhealthmd.com. Save 35% on your order with coupon code 6B. Lisa, thanks for a few moments tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Lisa King, pharmacist there, Nation's Health MD, or award-winning pharmacist and author. That book sounds interesting. You could check that out at Amazon. What did she say? Tiny Life Changes, I think she said the name
Tiny
of it
Life
was.
Changes.
Yeah. So you could check that out. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. Vinnie Mac's going to do some news. Let's do some headlines. I feel like we haven't done many. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, good news for President Trump and the rest of the country, and not so good news for the for the governor, Gavin
Did you see her
Newsom.
today, by the way?
Excuse me?
Did you see her today lying through her teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Oh, my God. Pelosi.
Pelosi and that crazy other one.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right. Like I said, bad news for Gavin Newsom out in California is the judge rejects Newsom's bid to swiftly limit National Guard operations in L.A. And why would he want to do that? Well, he's trying to line himself up as a tough guy for 2028. Well, he just got smacked in the hiney and sent back to Sacramento. The federal judge on Tuesday rejected Governor Gavin Newsom's bid to limit law enforcement activities by the National Guard called out by President Trump. This coming from John Solomon's Just the News. Here is the here is the news report of that. This is cut number, and I lost it.
You sure about this? I was going to say, you sound
I had it, and now I can't find it. There are so many.
This is
so
a
much
cut that
going
Aaron
on.
has?
Yes.
Well, maybe she. Oh no, she can't even find it. Are you sure you gave it to her?
Yes, it's cut number 16. Here's the federal judge. This is here we go. Cut number 16. Go.
Judge has denied the state of California's request to stop Trump from using the California National Guard to keep the peace and keep order during these protests. CNN's Elena Treen is at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where President Trump is speaking. And Elena, that's a big development, the judge denying California's request. Tell us about that, and tell us what the president has been saying in his Fort Bragg speech.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal for the president here and his administration. And we heard just moments ago the president saying that he wants to liberate Los Angeles and really attacking Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass for the way that they've been responding to him calling in the National Guard and the Marines to go and try and quell these protests. Where obviously, I'm sure if he's not alerted about it on stage, we'll soon after be hearing from him directly, I'm sure.
Yeah, and again, the federal judge limiting or rejecting Governor Newsom's bid to stop the National Guard from coming into L.A., which, of course, you see is helping keep things a lot more under control here day 2, Tuesday, as we see some of the footage that Ben Berquam has been sending us.
It's serious.
Yeah.
He's taking it serious. And he learned his lesson, right? With any of those unrest that happened during his presidency and things that weren't done. I mean, every day he's learned his lesson.
By not moving quick enough, he allowed them to grab the narrative. That's not happening this time. And you know what? On top of that, too, is that he doesn't have to worry about getting reelected. He doesn't care.
It's a great place to be.
Exactly.
You notice how hard CNN is trying to have some segments on their shows that just have some semblance of, that are just not oozing leftism. Like even that one with Jake Tapper, and they go to a reporter who basically gives actually a report and doesn't tinge it with Trump hating leftism. They're trying so hard.
I see them bending a little in a sense because of maybe this, like the lawsuits we talked about before. Maybe it's because the viewers are not showing up to watch their shows anymore. MSNBC and CNN, something's changing. I see a little change.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I go that far. I just kind of get a chuckle out of some of these segments I see. I mean, Harry Anton we joke about, but talk about, but they leave him on there.
Yeah, they leave Scott Jennings on there.
But you could just Scott Jennings. But you can just see, like even in that segment, Jake's lead-in to her was a pretty normal lead-in. There was no. Yeah. Usually it's just it's just a setup.
Right. Yeah. It's totally tinged with their narrative, setting it up.
Now it pains them to not. Okay, I'll read it straight.
Damn it.
Speaking of which, since we're talking about the media and how they lie constantly, here's a supercut by Grabian, cut number 12. And again, it's because though we see that from the Jake Tapper once in a while. And once in a while from the other media sources, this is what they mostly do.
Yeah, you won't see it from Dana Bash, I can tell you that.
Yeah, here's cut 12. Check this out.
The L.A. County police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown
this guy is throwing rocks.
These agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up, aggression by these protesters that later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
Look,
the president is saying the National Guard.
I take back everything I just said.
Because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
The unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people. Most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed a protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
Did you see Fat Boy Stelter on CNN said the other day, his new one now is, well, you can't watch these or trust these videos because they're like 2 days old, he says.
Oh, 2 days old.
That's his new thing.
So the car that
they're not real because they could be 24 hours old.
Right. So the car burned up. That was 2 days ago. It doesn't count anymore.
It doesn't count. Yeah,
it might not even be real.
Yeah, no, you can't look at that and say that that's a riot because it could be 24 hours old, and somehow that changes it.
Yeah.
That's his new thing. Brian Stetler, who used to host a show called ready Reliable Sources.
Yes.
Yeah. Very reliable.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
And speaking of reliable sources or unreliable sources, here's a little peek. And I'm not saying this is happening. It could be happening in some news rooms around the country. We're not sure yet. I'm sure at some point we might be exposed to this. But is this the next step for the fake news media? I don't know. Check this out. It's only about 20 seconds long. It's cut number 13. And it will really, if you're an older person and maybe not up to date on some of this newer technology, some media technology that's out there, you might not realize that something like this might not be real. Again, this is cut 13. Check this out, David.
Angela Carter here, live from the Cedar Grove flood disaster. Just kidding. I'm not real.
That's a whale.
This is Dana Brooks reporting live from Ocean View Beach.
Damon, that's
just kidding. I'm not real. This is Charlotte Reed reporting live from Clearwater Beach, where an unidentified. Just kidding. I'm not real.
How scary is that?
That is unbelievable.
People who may not be savvy enough or realize that this stuff could happen. The media could, let's face it. If they don't want you to see something and not talk about it, that could be the next step.
Can I do a whole show of not being here? What program is this? Is there a website I could go to?
Yeah, he's here.
Just yeah, he's touching him to make sure he's here.
Big D, talk about China and our farmland. Brian Belfort on YouTube says.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before. Was anything specifically today happen?
I'm not sure. It could be because of
it's the Michigan thing, probably.
Yeah, what you were referencing earlier, Vin, about the.
We literally just talked about.
He's
that.
also could be talking about all the land the Chinese have bought.
Well, we've talked about that over the last years too.
Okay, could maybe he's talking about the local Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
that we have not talked about. That's a good point.
Yeah. The Mugu Gaipan, please. Yeah.
Oh God.
I love meat ribs.
Yeah, I got Chinese the other night. It's damn good.
What?
Damn good. Yeah, I got Chinese the other night.
All right, we're back right after this.
That is very scary technology.
Fran, can you find me that website so I can do a segment from the Sphere? A news segment?
I don't know if the creator had posted what he used to make it.
We gotta find out.
I mean, that is a creator on Instagram that does all AI stuff. So he said those particular things took him about 30 minutes each to prompt out.
Oh man, I could have a whole show done in like 4 hours.
He didn't say how long it took to render. He just said prompt.
And then Aaron can just hit play. And
I did not know that.
It's crazy stuff, though.
I did not know that.
Think about how real that looked up until she said, "I'm not real," and then here's a whale rolling past her.
I got to find out how to do that.
The spaceship was real.
Imagine a fake like that with a president of China, of some country, declaring war.
Jill Green on YouTube. Yeah. Damon, why do you disregard something Delgado talks about? How am I disregarding it, Jill? Please explain.
Jill?
Yeah, Damon actually wants to use it.
Yeah, what specifically are you referring to?
Yeah.
I think she thinks you're joking about it.
About what?
He's serious. He would use it if he could use it to take a night off.
There were a few tells in it, but that was really good.
That was great. I'm telling you.
If you look closely at any of the text, it wasn't right, but everything else looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people aren't looking for details. They're just watching mindlessly.
It looks amazing.
On a small screen like a phone, it'd be really, really easy to miss the details.
Yeah.
I think I could be live from the Sphere and no one would know the difference.
I can't see David.
I mean, except
and honestly, if I could show
there.
Delgado and Slick there, then people would say I finally paid off this bet that I never really lost.
That you totally lost.
Or they'd know it was
You know what? Damon's probably going to use that to put himself on a Harley. Because he can't ride one.
That's the one way you can ride a Harley. Is through AI.
Harley.
Maybe I can improve my guns through AI. Get closer to Delgado.
I actually like Indian motorcycles, though.
Indian?
Indian, yes.
Interesting.
They're really
cool. I never really heard of an Indian motorcycle.
No? I like the Scout. I'm a Scout guy. I'm a Scout guy.
Farmer Brooks says he's going to the Sphere in 2 weeks.
Is he?
What are you going to see, Farmer Brooks? Who's there now?
Are you going to see Chesney?
Country Artist is there.
Yes. We'll send Slick. He can pirouette with him.
I'm not in Sphere denial, Brooks spoke. What are you talking about?
You're totally...
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in the chat. All of our friends on social media, we always appreciate you giving us a few hours of being in the chat, talking to each other, talking to us. If you follow us on social media, if you haven't, at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere. And then head over to livefromstudio6b.com. Sign up to be a member there. It's absolutely free. It doesn't take more than about 30 seconds to do. Livefromstudio6b.com. All the merch, all of our past shows, all of our clips, What Even Is Dad's Crazy Towns, everything we've done over the years can be found at livefromstudio6b.com. New shirts, sweatshirts, everything always going up. Although we haven't released anything new in a while, but there's a great selection of stuff over there, livefromstudio6b.com. Vinnie Mac, what else is on your mind before we wrap up for a Tuesday? Slick will be back tomorrow night, remember? What's going on?
Yeah, I got one more thing that I picked up. And I believe in the past, we had the CDC's vaccine panel of independent experts. In the past, they might have actually been a real panel of independent experts, meaning they had what's best for us in mind.
Like the 50s?
Exactly. Going back to the early days of the CDC and the early days of just healthcare in general, which has transformed and changed so much. And I don't know if anybody heard, and I'm sure you have, that RFK has gutted the entire panel. That upset a lot of people in the medical community. And I see basically two things happening with what RFK Jr. has been doing. And by the way, I am a huge supporter of RFK Jr. I'm really happy with the things he's doing. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because of those two things. On one side, you have the medical community reacting in outrage by many of the things he's doing, like he's crazy. All of this nonsense that they throw back at him, like how can he do this? He's going to ruin research. He's going to ruin this or that. And then I see what's really happening, which is the level of corruption in our medical system is at an astonishing rate, from healthcare providers to the pharmaceutical companies, and yes, to the panel of independent experts on vaccines. As we start to peel the onion back, of course, the last two major vaccines with the COVID whole thing we went through there, all we're seeing are people getting sick and dying because of these vaccines. I mean, really bad stuff. So you can go back to other vaccines and now start peeling it back and say, well, maybe the autism connection is real. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's real. But maybe decisions have been made based on money and corruption, which is what, at least over the last 20 years, we have seen. Food dyes, the things that he took out, it took him a month to do what others have preached for years to take out of our system. And I think I read a statistic a couple of weeks ago on the show where there's so many bad things in his food dye that if you just had a small bag of Skittles and some macaroni and cheese and an orange crush soda, it's like 10 times the amount you're supposed to have for like an entire day. So we are harming people. And RFK, he's getting a bad rap from the medical community. Why? Because they're scared. They're scared that their little gravy train is going to end. And here's a guy that's actually showing some balls. He's showing some real courage in doing the things that he's doing. And just like Trump, we elected him to send in the National Guard. We elected Trump to do all the things that he's doing, the tariffs, et cetera, getting criminals out of our country, getting illegal immigrants out of our country. We also elected him because RFK was in the mix there, and he was going to shake that tree down. This is a big tree to shake down. But I'm glad to see what he did. It was a bold step, probably one of the boldest he's made to date. Have you been following this story, Rick?
Yeah. Definitely.
What do you think of this?
I love it, and the fact that that they're all complaining means it's the right thing to do.
I'm so glad you said that, because that is such. I feel exactly the same way, and we saw this with Doge.
Yeah.
The more they screamed, you knew they were hitting the nail on the head and wiping out corruption. And I have friends in the medical community that are just outraged by this.
Not anymore.
And their blinders are on because maybe they're not corrupt.
They're not your friends anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, yes. That somehow they continue to associate. I don't know why. But I'm not suggesting that any of them are part of this food chain of corruption, because they're not. But they've bought into it blindly. And what they don't see, what's really happening, is this level of corruption. And RFK is knocking it out. He might go down in history as one of the biggest game changers in our medical industry and complex ever, including the food and all the stuff that he's doing. To me, that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, because let's face it. I mean, you mentioned the autism thing. They've done studies on, large groups of unvaccinated, the Amish, right? I think we were talking about the other day.
That's right.
And they don't have what we have. Why is that? Well, there's definitely a correlation. Maybe not a causation, but definitely a correlation that has to be looked at. And by scaling it back and at least bringing it back to, the healthier 60s level of vaccination numbers that, you and I grew up with, 60s and 70s, a lot healthier. Not as much of an issue in terms of, mental health and autism and stuff like that. So there could be something said. And you know what? There needs to be lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies. That's it. Bottom line, needs to be. They need to be held to account, because we see it when they have these fat burning things or whatever miracle drug for this or that, and then 10 years later to discover, it causes cancer, but you lost 5 pounds. They get sued and they lose billions. Well, now do it for vaccines, and we'll see how much they change and see how much research they actually do.
They need to do a few things, I think, regarding this medical stuff, and I think RFK's on this. We got to get rid of the lobbyists. They got to get out. We have to, just in general, we have to get rid of the level of lobbying that goes on. It's ridiculous and it's corrupt.
And that would wipe out half of DC's population.
Fine.
which is fine.
It should be done. They need to wipe that out. The other thing that I've talked about on the show a couple of times, I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that, is the amount of time that a drug, and they have a legitimate argument because it takes a lot of time to get a drug approved. So they had to put a lot of R&D in. They do spend a huge amount of money to do this stuff. And they got, 7 years of compliance before the drug gets approved. So then they get it out for a period of time, and then it goes out to generic. You cut that back to, say, 4 years, a reasonable amount of time that guys like us, entrepreneurs, can jump in, not just these biotech groups that are getting millions in funding to create something, then sell it to a pharma, but real other competition. What that would do is level the playing field a little bit. So this corruption just might be mitigated, and maybe better products that actually cure things, not mask things. Everything's a mask. Everything. Oh, this is your ailment. Here, try this. It'll camouflage what's really happening so you don't feel it anymore. Well, it's not curing anything.
Right. The pharmaceutical industry does not make money by curing things. It makes money by making you a perpetual customer for the rest of your life. Because, like you said, it only masks the issue. It doesn't treat the root cause of the issue.
That's right.
And the root cause doctors out there that treat root cause issues, they're labeled wackos because they can actually solve the problem.
Yeah, functional medicine, I'm a big believer in, and its time is here now. It's very popular. You're a follower of that as well.
Big time.
Yeah, me too.
Kosh, the big news this week in the healthcare space is what John Solomon broke, I believe it was yesterday, was June, 2 days ago. And that is the titled COVID cover-up probes focus on early military intel that virus was man-made, escaped the Wuhan lab. And I'll just give you the opening paragraph because that basically sets the scene. An elite unit of scientists working for the Defense Intelligence Agency concluded 3 months after the pandemic began that COVID-19 likely was genetically manufactured and escaped a Chinese lab rather than evolving in nature, as Dr. Anthony Fauci claimed, a bombshell revelation now at the heart of an ongoing investigation into a possible U.S. intelligence cover-up.
Yeah.
I could save you all the time and money of that investigation and just tell you, yes.
Yes. Totally agree.
All right, as always, we salute our military active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. We'll be back tomorrow night. Rick Delgado's taking the reins. He's going to start driving the limo, as we say in the chat. Slick Rick will be back. Vinnie Mac will be here.
Yeah.
Kevin Downey Jr. tomorrow night. They'll be here 8 o'clock live from Studio 6B.